Mike Tyson should burn in hell for what he does. I got Mike Tyson again. It always sets off a bad set of results. And I blame this man. I've never seen anybody before Mike Tyson do it actually do the crap where we're going to kick the field goal, and then we can kick onside and throw a Hail Mary. And when they do it, all the announcers go, oh, this is really smart. This is what the analytics say to do. You kick the field goal first. Which, first of all, if you do it with a minute 30 left, okay, I got it because you still got time to make a couple plays, whatever. When you do it with 10 seconds left, it's a jackass move, and it has never worked. The Mike Tyson move only exists to backdoor cover and garbage time.
Yeah.
Scumbag. Never forgive Mike Tyson for what he has done to the sport of football.
Yeah.
If there is a hell, he should burn in it forever. One of the worst leagues to ever coach.
Yeah.
Any level of football.
Yeah. It's an awful thing, and should never be tolerated. You're right. There's no.
I'm sure, like Uncle Luke lost a bet on a Pee Wee League football game because someone had a 6-year-old kick a 4-yard field goal.
Should lead to an automatic suspension for the season and maybe lifetime ban. A lifetime ban with a chance to ask for reinstatement.
Any coach who does the cowardly Mike Tyson move should deeply be ashamed of himself.
Let's put some points on the board.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
All right, very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the show. Jump to force. We got Mike Lubie Lubitz. The big baby shower is coming up on Saturday. Is the public invited to that? Is that an open event? No?
No. Very expensive event that the list is closed, so no.
All right. Very excited about the whole thing. I think Special K is having a birthday party that day as well, later on in the evening. So it's going to be doubleheader party time for me. I'll try and work in some usual time at the racetrack there in between. Hopefully recover my gift, which a year's worth of diaper service really doesn't do it anymore, right? You don't want the cloth diapers, Louie. That's for sure. You want that disposable. Whoever came up with the disposable diaper, he's right up there. What was the same inventor responsible for the reversible doggy poop bag?
Those are the best.
I mean, imagine that. You say, hey, how can I invent something that you can pick up dog crap with? And the guy doesn't. Probably a zillionaire as a result. All right, nothing instills or inspires confidence like getting some medical advice from a guy who can't pronounce the word that the medication is actually called, which sometimes can be difficult. But if you're going to hold a press conference for the world and announce a medical breakthrough of major proportions, I mean, imagine you found a way to stop autism from occurring.
Yeah,
and then flanked in the background, actually, he got up and spoke. RFK Jr. gets up there with that.
No one knows what he's saying.
No idea what this guy said. Remember Mumbles on the what was that? On the Clutch Cargo cartoons? Mumbles.
Yes.
Was that where that was the source of that? Mumbles. So it was a great character. So you got to have that going on. The guy's explaining to you this major medical breakthrough. I mean, you're thinking that this is the stuff, of which legends are made. And then in the background there, and it turns out, I understand the connection, is Dr. Mehmet Oz, a fraudulent TV doctor. Not even a guy like Marcus Welby or Ben Casey, who you know is a fictional character, but at least they did some research, and what the guy was saying had something that was pertinent to what would normally be medical advice and or considerations. And there's Dr. Oz, who didn't he get caught selling some completely fraudulent product?
Yes.
And he just happens to own the company that makes the product that they're recommending that you use instead. What the hell? Holy C. Everett Koop. What does the world come to? They used to ban this guy Fauci. All right, so that was yesterday. That was yesterday's inspiration. I remember, the first go around. And we don't want to get into a Jimmy Kimmel situation, which, by the way, I guess he's back.
Yeah, exactly. That's great.
You know what's funny about Jimmy Kimmel? I'm not a big Jimmy Kimmel fan. In fact, I rarely watch these late night shows. I mean, if they have some leggy babe that has a personality like Jennifer Aniston on, who's got a good rapport with Kimmel, for example, I'll probably stop on it for a second or two just to catch the vibe from this coming out of the screen from this woman. But in general, I don't even know when he was doing. Remember, he kind of broke in doing NFL stuff on Fox. Jimmy,
Yeah, the best damn wasn't it best damn sports show? Wasn't that the thing he was involved in?
Yeah, I don't know. I never thought he was, outrageously funny or anything. He does a good job on the kind of stuff that they're asking him to do.
He's fine.
Is he as entertaining maybe as Fallon? I don't know. Colbert was obsessed with Donald Trump to the point where after a while you're thinking, well, I'm watching CNN. So I'm not really inclined to watch any of these shows. Just in flipping channels once in a blue moon, like I said, I'll click on something. So it's amazing how that this is now going to be, I would imagine, one of the most watched shows that you will see of that variety since Johnny retired.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a big late night person.
You can't be because you're up at 3 in the morning.
What we've done, yeah, has been impossible. But I mean, you can nowadays everything's on clips and stuff. I've never cared to watch any of it. And Colbert's solid. I feel he's talented. Fallon, I always think's annoying. Kimmel, I don't think there's much to it. But it was just the way the whole thing went down. I do think it's classic. Within less than a week, he's already
back. Yeah, because he got buried when all these cancellations. ABC did. And yet, when you watch what actually transpired, all he did was play the clip of Trump standing in front of the White House there, or wherever he was, when the reporters asked him, "Hey, so how do you feel about this Charlie Kirk thing?" And he said, it's okay, but look at that. The trucks are here. They're here. It reminds me of Stu Feiner when he's putting down some stuff mulch in his garden. Puts out this video. Stu Feiner, the handicapper who we had to let go because it seemed like he was doing pyramids of cocaine while he was on our shows. And unfortunately, in terrestrial radio was well outside the boundaries of what would be considered good taste when it came to language. And yet, even though he was an hysterical character, we just had to drop it. But I still see his videos on Facebook and I guess social media. And he does this big thing where he's screaming about the mulch man is here, the mulch man is here, and I keep picturing Trump doing the same thing. But I couldn't be any more confident in the medical advice that we're getting from the administration here. Watching Mehmet Oz in the background, I forgot that he was a part of this thing, didn't you?
Well, yeah, because I thought he was shown to not be a doctor. Like, wasn't he like? I know, like maybe not Dr. Phil, but.
He's a doctor in the same vein that Dr. J is, I guess.
I thought he was proven to not be a doctor. So what?
You'd be more likely to accept advice from Doc Severinsen than you would be Mehmet Oz. But that was some configuration. I mean, as I said, nothing inspires confidence like that. So I hope Shirley's not taking any Tylenol.
I don't know. She's doing whatever the doctors tell her.
No medical evidence or link, anywhere has ever stipulated that this was even the slightest possibility.
There's none. Again, Tylenol, autism started being diagnosed in the early 1940s. Tylenol didn't even come out to the 1950s. Like, there's literally impossible. It's impossible that there's a connection.
So what was the point of all that? I mean, what was the point of
sell Dr. Oz's thing? Everything they do is to sell one of their own
money. Yeah,
it's pretty not about the people. Or I mean, come on.
All right. So that was yesterday, and it just struck me in the first go round there, which we had the gap in between with Joe Biden. But in the first go round, I was always amazed that every day there was another kind of circus act that was taking place, and it's only exasperated itself in this second term. Every single day, it's not just one, but it's like multiple clown-like events that you look at, and you're just stunned. Whatever side of the politics you're on, that this is emanating from the Oval Office and the President of the United States. But, I mean, maybe he's right. Lubie, is it possible that the rest of the world is wrong and that Tylenol is the cause of all autism? Unbelievable. At least we found a cure for it now, which is great. All right, a lot of stuff happening on the sporting scene. We want to get into that. And there's no shortage of different events going on. You have Major League Baseball races. I didn't realize this. I knew the Guardians were creeping up on the Detroit Tigers. They play head-to-head tonight. And Cleveland, which was a team that sort of had sold out on their season, though, weren't they sellers around the trade deadline? And really didn't expect too much from them. Detroit was running away with that American League Central Division. They were up 10, 12 games most of the season. That lead is down to 1 now. And so you are getting some of the stuff that you would anticipate and normally just absolutely be salivating over and at a fever pitch if you were a baseball fan. So we have Detroit one up on Cleveland. And the matchup tonight's pretty spectacular here as you got Scooball going for the Tigers. Scooball, he got injured a couple of games ago, came back. I want to say that he probably represented himself in decent fashion. 13-5, 2.23 earned run average on the season. Going against Williams for the Guardians, who's 11-5, 3.06 earned run average. So that's a pretty big game. The Padres clinched last night a wild card spot at the very least. They're 2.5 behind the Dodgers in that race in the National League West. And the Mets are sitting there on the seat of their pants, actually behind the Reds, as the Reds hold a tiebreaker, and they're in a dead heat for a wild card spot. So the Mets have the Cubs tonight. A lot of interesting things happening.
So the Mets aren't even in the playoffs.
They could miss the playoffs.
Oh my God, is this real?
A lot of panic in New York.
Oh my God.
Yankees happen to be surging and are 2 games behind Toronto, and they find themselves in the oddball predicament of having to root for the Red Sox tonight. Can you imagine? Because the Red Sox tangle with the Blue Jays, so the Red Sox can actually help the Yankees' cause by beating the Blue Jays. It's a 2-game differential, and the Yankees take on the lowly. If you wanted to play against a pair of Sox, you definitely want to play the White Sox over the Red Sox.
This time of year, yep.
The White Sox, who I think might have salvaged something out of the season. I mean, they're going nowhere, and they were buried so deeply. They were such a bad team for the first half of the year. But the Yankees at home with Gill, who's come back from injury and performed very well on the mound against the White Sox. So there'll be no doubt scoreboard watching. You would have to think, no, we don't do that. We just pay attention to what we're doing. How could you not, right? You see the Red Sox are up 5-0, and you're beating the crap out of the White Sox. Feel pretty good because all of a sudden it's a 1-game differential, and you're talking about winning a division and possibly sitting out the first round of the playoffs as opposed to getting involved. So that's all happening. I couldn't help but make this comparison last night. And this is weird, too. I've talked about this guy. I know you've heard me mention it over the years, Lubie. And every neighborhood had that guy that was like the best athlete. And you couldn't touch this guy. If he was running up the middle, and that's all he did in a football game, even if you were just in the schoolyard and you were playing recreational football. There was a kid, Joey Vanatta was a kid in my neighborhood. And this guy, if he was coming at you, no matter how tough you thought you were, and I was not one of those guys that really enjoyed getting smeared in a tackle football game. I didn't mind playing it, but I was more inclined to want to be on the outside catching a pass or maybe a defensive back that played a little Deion Sanders ball. And if the guy was blowing by me, ole. So, but when Vanatta was coming at you, or in Little League, there was a pitcher I've mentioned a couple of times, and Ron Wick. I'll never forget Ron Wick. And this was a guy in Little League that may as well have been Danny Almonte. He was huge, though, and he was bringing it. It had to be the equivalent of a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from a Little League distance. And you couldn't wait to get out of the batter's box. If you hit a number up the first base line, one of those little squibers that went right to the first base, you were thrilled. It was like you hit a 3-run homer over the fence in left field. So a couple of guys, though, you didn't want to get in their way. You didn't want to face them. And I would have to think that Derrick Henry is one of those guys, Lubie. I don't know. Who was it in your neighborhood? Was there one guy that if he was running the football, you would have to man up at some point, and you're the type that would take him on because I saw you with Jeff Monson, that beast of an MMA fighter, and you were fighting him to the death in the studio. On the floor there, your face was red. He had you in a rear naked chokehold, and you wouldn't tap out. Everybody said, come on, look. And I don't know why. I mean, I don't know that Monson, maybe, I don't mean to impugn the integrity of his intellect, but did he not get it that this was a joke?
I don't know.
I don't think you got flattened in that Charlie Partridge thing.
Yeah,
But you don't back down.
I don't know when to say die, I guess. We didn't play a ton of tackle football when I was growing up. When we did, yeah, I mean, I always played with the older kids. So, yes, all of them would have been people I would have been scared to tackle.
But you weren't afraid to tackle. You were the guy that everybody said, okay, send Lubie in there.
I was little. I was not scared of any. I wasn't that effective because I was tiny. I liked playing receiver and I would play quarterback. I was not one that wanted to get in the middle. I was always little compared to everybody else. But no, I was never scared about any of it. But we didn't have a kid that was the block bully. So I probably would have been scared of him.
This guy Banana actually was pretty gracious. He didn't. It wasn't his intent to go out and flatten people. He just couldn't help it. There was another guy named George Matson that I remember. He didn't mind hurting somebody, but Banana was just a great athlete, and he was better than everybody else. And you would be out there playing sandlot football, and there literally would be 20 little kids on this guy, and he was carrying them like he was Jim Brown, and he would just carry everybody into the end zone. Henry's like that, isn't he? How is he? Has he fumbled in all 3 Ravens games so far?
I know, wasn't he a guy that never fumbled?
Never. This guy was going to punch the ball out of there. You're getting out of the way. So that was crucial yesterday, huh? The Ravens, and I was on the right side of this one in my handicapping ventures there on Barrier Bookie and now the Break the Bank show that we have here on Bleacher Brothers, because I thought, wow, I mean, all of this talk about the Lions are going to be awful this year because Dan Campbell doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, it's not.
Where's that at now, Lubie?
That's not. Ken and I are not looking so right at this moment.
Does he miss Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn all that much? I mean, 2 huge wins. Naturally, I mean, one was against the Bears, who came back and won the subsequent week, last week, this past Sunday. Bears were big winners over the Cowboys, who people thought maybe were going to be okay in spite of the Micah Parsons trade. And they lost to Green Bay, who looked really good until they coughed a bit there against the Browns and maybe don't have enough offensive firepower. But, I mean, they were toe-to-toe yesterday with the Ravens on the road and eventually won the game 38-30. Derrick Henry fumbling the ball at a key moment. And you have the Lions looking real strong. I couldn't help but think when I was watching Campbell on the sidelines, and we know that he's demonstrative and he's got the veins popping out of his neck and he's one of those hardcore old school types that is inspiring his team by eating a live wild boar or something before the game, a Jackie Sherrill type of thing. But how does he compare on the sidelines in terms of demeanor and the ability to inspire confidence in his players compared to Mike McDaniel? It's like you're looking at Ichabod Crane when you're looking at Mike McDaniel. As the players come to the sideline, he's like, "Hey, nice job."
And again, look, I don't need this demonstrative guy.
He hands them a poem. I mean, Campbell looked great on the sidelines yesterday.
He does. He commands respect and all that. But again, I don't necessarily need that. But yes, Mike McDaniel, at this point, when you watch him interact, if he ever interacts with the players, it looks so just not natural at all. Just
Campbell,
No, Campbell.
I mean, he looks the part, doesn't he?
Campbell works. Again, I can't keep criticizing him. They got both coordinators are gone, and their offense is still humming. But
humming with Jared Goff, who was given up for dead years ago.
Something this week. They can do it in the air. They can do it on the ground. Yeah, he's getting the job done. And Mike McDaniel is just it just feels like he just looks lost, and he's looked lost for a while now. Like that's been my problem with him is can he coach? Yeah, I mean getting tied to Greer wasn't good, but I also think he himself has looked for a long time over his head. And I'll give Dan Campbell credit. Maybe he doesn't know that he's over his head, but he never looks like that. He always looks engaged. He always looks involved. And his players have always, going back to his interim coaching time in Miami, his players have always respected him, whatever his X's and O's were or were not.
Lions looked pretty good last night, 2-1. And are the Ravens perhaps a little bit overrated, sitting there at 1-2?
I don't know.
Their schedule has been brutal to start the season, and it doesn't get any easier. I think they play the Chiefs this coming week. Somebody's always got to go, too, in that Dolphin game coming up on Monday night. That's an overused phrase in boxing that was very clever when it first surfaced. Somebody's always got to go. I think it was a Don King promotion, 2 undefeated fighters, and that was the catchphrase that they used to promote the fight. Somebody's has got to go.
Yeah.
Even Skippy loves that. His friend is out of sight now for the last half hour. He's still barking about this thing.
I love that.
But in this case, it's not undefeated fighters; it's unvictorious teams, Jets and the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, Monday.
So somebody's always got to go there. I'm going to surprise Sarni here real quickly here because he's, I'm sure, facetiously asking if we have any WNBA picks.
I couldn't even tell you who's in the playoffs, but if you have an idea, good for you.
Well, I don't, but I'm stealing this from Kazarian. He's a very good handicapper, and he's a friend of my buddy Mike Jones. I knew him back in the day when he wasn't doing so well. And he was telling me a story about Kazarian that I won't relay here because it's not particularly flattering. But he did tell Kazarian in lieu of, just to give you like a slate idea, the parameters of this thing, that he couldn't do anything for him about giving him the money that he needed to get out of a jackpot. But he told him, I think you're great at what you do, and you're eventually going to rise to a very big position in this field of handicapping, which apparently he has. I guess he was on ESPN for a while. I'm not sure what happened there. But now handicapping for this action sports or whatever it is. He has the Lynx and Mercury game scoped out. Lynx and Mercury. Sarni's challenging us to have some WNBA second-round playoff picks. Now, I had to look up under the auspices of who knows what the playoff formats are. I had to look at, because they go 2 out of 3 in the first round, and I guess there were some upsets. I don't know. Was that a big upset that the Liberty got knocked out? Possibly. And they were knocked out by what? They were knocked out by the Mercuries or whatever they are. Mercury Rising versus
Phoenix Mercury.
Phoenix Mercury, right. So, and Tarasi's retired, right? So she's not there anymore.
Okay, then yeah. Then I really don't know that.
So I couldn't name you a single player on the team.
I don't know anyone in the league. I was at a Kaylin Clark.
But this guy's got several paragraphs of analysis here. And he says, go ahead and take the Mercury that they have a good shot, plus 7.5 tonight. And he loves them in the first quarter at plus 2.5. They're getting 2.5 in the first quarter. So this guy's breaking down WNBA playoff games into quarters and then telling you that the Mercury have an excellent chance, that they were probably a little bit dogged from that 3-game series. They had to win a 3-game best of 3 final game against the New York Liberty, who have a couple of good players, right? Ionescu and Brianna Stewart was playing. Liberty were the defending champions. Listen to me with my
I know you're doing the whole thing.
Knowledge. Yeah, he says that they were probably tired, and that you'll see a team that dominated the second half. I think the Mercury went ice cold in the second half. They scored like 22 points, which is not uncommon in WNBA play. Who the hell would know? They're a bunch of bricklayers for the most part, no? Outside of a couple of players, almost everybody else is in the same category as Angel Reese. You see shots go up that you would see, I don't know, where would you see a better shooting percentage? In your 10-year-old game that you were coaching? Where all little Johnny can do to reach the basket from 2 feet away? Or a WNBA game?
I hate doing it, but whatever I do put on WNBA, I feel bad for Zarni, but all I can think about is the stuff you say, because the shooting is so bad.
It's terrible. It really is. I mean,
like, clank, clank.
They're not even bricks. They're ugly bricks. They're boulders.
It's really bad basketball. That's why people
Winslow to an exponent of 20. No.
I'm not even trying. I'm not going to be sexist. So pretend that they're whatever you want them to be playing, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. Like, we've grown up playing the sport our whole life. We know what it's supposed to look like.
It's not like watching Magic Johnson.
It looks different. It just looks different. I'm sorry.
It's the truth. And I mean, I've mentioned this many times. If I had a choice, I often prefer women's tennis to men's tennis because of the way that these girls play. I mean, it's much more commensurate with what you would see in the men's game, as they're blasting shots at each other and they're moving around, and the way they cover the court. And you don't see fumbling, bumbling, and stumbling like you do in the WNBA. The amazing thing to me, more amazing than Mehmet Oz being in the background at this Tylenol will cause autism press conference, was the fact that the unrivaled league, that 3-on-3 WNBA extrapolation, sold or is valued at $340 million after one season of play. How is it possible?
What people? I didn't know that was a thing. That was an actual thing.
Unrivaled. It was started by a couple of WNBA players. I'm not sure exactly who.
3-on-3 thing that they do. Okay,
They
this is
started that thing as like
the Ice Cube thing. The Ice Cube thing that was that's horrendous. There's a women's version of that.
there's a woman's version of that,
And
and
people watch this.
and it was valued. The company itself, now Unrivaled, which came from nothing. I mean, it was just a concept. Was recently evaluated at $340 million because of either investments or whatever it was that was involved in the math there. $340 million for this thing.
Good for them.
Something you don't even know what the hell it is, right? You don't even know what the hell it is. If I said, "Hey, what's Unrivaled, Lubie?" you would have no idea.
I thought it was like a shirt brand, like clothing. Like that's what.
Anyway, starting in the immortal words of the late great Gordon Soley, there you have it. We have picks on the WNBA. We did analyze this. I know I would have not have brought that up if I didn't have his comment there, because I always assume that Sarni's throwing a jab in our face saying, "Well, is that all you're going to talk about is football?"
Yes.
Sorry, Tim. That's what's on everybody's mind. How many people out there, show of hands, are actually going to watch
I've never even heard of it.
links? And how many of you scrambled for your phone to try and get on your betting app?
Yeah, make it bet.
Suspended it on the Mercury on the advice of Doug Kazarian, who actually is very good at this. So he's one. You know, it's funny, kind of like where the professor started to master Australian rules football. We knock our heads against the wall trying to figure out who's going to win in the NFL. I don't know that people even care about the side or the over-under anymore. It's almost everything. I was talking to Dr. Jerry. I was out trying to play a little Alzheimer's Cup last night. He's not a gambler of any sort. And he said, I can't believe it. I was in New York, and I was with some relative of his or a friend. And in the middle of the game, the guy's betting what's going to happen on the next pitch.
Oh, my God.
He said, I didn't even know you could do that. And
really? Good.
I said to Dr. Jerry, I said, I think that's pretty much all people are doing it. He said, well, it was only $10. Look,
but adds up.
if you're betting every pitch at $10, you're betting
Like
thousands.
There's like 200 pitches between the two pitchers and then the bullpens. Like,
Yeah, further evidence the world has gone Meshuggah, no? I mean, Meshuggah. Unbelievable. Mehmet Oz is back there. This guy that was, what was he selling? I mean, you talk about a snake oil salesman. He was selling some supplement, wasn't he, that did nothing? Turned out it was like saline solution.
yeah, it was criminal. Like, didn't he get put up?
I don't know. Of course, he's got a cabinet position now, but and then it was subsequent to watching this stuff that there was the allusion to the idea that the stuff they're recommending you do take, if you happen to be pregnant and you're burning a fever of some sort, or you want to minimize whatever it is, possible damage that'll be done during whatever pain or discomfort you're feeling. Having never been pregnant, I don't know exactly how this equates out, but yeah, he just happens to be the guy that owns the company that sells the product that they're recommending that you take instead.
Well, I mean, look, he's been wildly backed by Big Pharma. They keep talking about going after Big Pharma. The Big Pharma doesn't make money on the vaccines. Most people get vaccines for free.
Yeah.
Big Pharma makes money when you're sick and you're taking drugs. So the anti-vax movement literally doesn't understand is backed by Big Pharma. So
Sheldon G, man, a great gambler in his own right, says betting in game is the only way to go.
Oh, Jesus.
I could understand that, though, because so many times you're trying to weigh out, well, okay, who's going to do what in a ball game. And how many times have we said this about the NFL now, where you almost need to see one or a couple of weeks to have any kind of definitive opinion about certain teams or whatever. By the way, too, on that note, we've been saying, can they give you enough points with the Saints to encourage you to ever take the Saints? You see what the line is on the Saints game this week? They're playing the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, Jesus. I mean,
they're getting 16 and a hook. Is that enough, Lubie?
I mean, the Dolphins just hung around with the Bills, and the Dolphins and the Saints are in a similar vein. The difference is Tua, if you give him time, is a legit top 10 quarterback, and Spencer Rattler isn't even a career backup. So
it could be anything.
Yeah, that could be something.
Because you're asking yourself, I mean, at what point do the bookies, just to get the balance on the action, throw you like 20 points with the New Orleans Saints? And after what we've seen the first few weeks of the season, you would have to say that 20 would still not necessarily be enough to entice you to say, hey, you know what, Whitey? Give me the Saints plus 20. So 16 and a hook against the Bills. That game's probably in Buffalo, I would have to imagine.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's in Buffalo. So weather, I don't know, will be a factor just yet. You still have Indian summer there, but the Saints, will they lose by? Will McDermott keep his finger on the pulse of the Bills' offense to the tune where if he's up 14, you could easily see the Bills being up 14 in the first half of the first quarter, no?
Yeah, I think the Bills will run away with it. I mean, 16 is a lot of points in the NFL, so I would probably stay out of it. But the Bills are on a mission, and the Saints, I don't know what you would call what they're doing.
Saints are abysmal. Completely. You would have to say the worst team in football, although there are several entries there that could be a candidate. Who's always going to go on Monday night, Lubie, in your media? Everybody's assuming the Dolphins are going to beat the Jets in this game. Is that?
It feels like the Dolphins win.
They're only 2.5-point favorites.
But again, I said that. I said the last two, not last 2 weeks. I thought they'd get drilled last week. That was wrong, actually. I said that the first 2 weeks, and they lost in abysmal fashion. So, yeah, I don't know how to gauge the Dolphins team. I mean, the offenses look better. They've been able to move the ball, but the defense is not. I guess if you're going to be bad against this Jets offense with Justin Fields back there and whoever else, it wasn't even Fields. Fields was out. Like, I don't know. The Dolphins, I feel like they get a win. I mean, if you're going to win, this is sort of the game. This, and then they play the Saints in a few weeks. Because even the Browns are tough now. The Browns pushed.
They beat Green Bay.
I don't know if they pushed around Green Bay, but they definitely kept Green Bay in check. I mean,
they were in the game.
10 points is
impressive. Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive. So you can't guarantee a Browns win. So you sort of have to win this game, or you don't know when you're going to get a win.
Imagine a medical panel, though. I mean, that was really something yesterday. You got one guy up there going, it's amphetamine and cetamine. It's, I don't know. Am I saying that right? Hey.
You can't
am I saying that right? You get this mumbler. I mean, a guy you can't understand or comprehend a word that he says. The last time we saw him, he was, backpedaling like you've never imagined. A guy in the medical profession who's the head of the World Health. I mean, in terms of United States, representing the United States when it comes to
Human Services, HHS. Yes.
My God, Health and Human Services. And some fraud from TV that was a creation of Oprah Winfrey, and even she's distanced herself.
Backed away far. It's so funny because she brought us Dr. Phil as well, and she's very much backed away from Dr. Phil too.
How is Dr. Phil not in charge of mental health in the United States now? What a panel, though. I mean, it's it's not like you were looking at Jonas Salk up there saying, "Hey, I think I found something here." All right, we're coming back with more in a moment. Here on the Defo Show with one Mike Lubitz, very happy and excited Mike Lubitz. College football, a lot of stuff. You got Georgia, Alabama this week. I don't know what you think about that game. I don't know what I think about that game. So maybe we'll get into that. Try and formulate some kind of
FSU with one
FSU,
of their
Virginia. I don't know. Are you at all, as we used to say in Brooklyn, scared? You always
definitely. I don't know about concerned or scared, but they have to focus on it. I mean, people keep trying to bring up the Miami game, and it looms large as it now has made a primetime matchup. But Virginia has one of the best offenses in the country. They're at home. It's night. It's a short week. FSU just played 2 cupcakes where they got to go to like the 5th spot on the roster. Yeah, no, this is definitely the kind of game that a lesser team would look ahead. Like, hopefully they're smart enough to not. I mean, this is the kind of game Miami's gotten in trouble with every year the last few years. I'm hoping FSU does not do. I mean, look, Miami did that with UF. I mean, if Bill Napier kicks that field goal when they're down, my buddy was with him last night. He's a Gator fan. He came down to go to the game, and I'm like, okay, I have to ask you, when it was like near the end of the third and they were down 13-7 and they were in field goal range, like, give me field goal range. And it was 4th and like pretty long. He's like, yeah, we were losing it. He's like, we were like, kick the field goal. Your defense is played out of its mind. Just give them points because it at least is a reward for their effort. He's like, the minute they go
down 3 to a Mario coach team that's doing nothing.
And again, in this day and age, if a field goal can get to the 40, they have a good shot at making it. It's a lot easier to get to the 40 than to score the extra 40 yards and get a touchdown when your offense sucks. So, yes, Miami, this sort of did that this week with UF, where they played with their food. They eventually won and covered. But like, if you're FSU, you do not want to do that. Virginia, it's your first road game at night, short week, and they have a really good offense. It's one of the best offenses in the country. So, yes, that should be a very interesting game to start this weekend. And hopefully FSU prevails because people nationally are really looking forward to FSU-UM.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I feel pretty good about Florida State. I like what they've done. I wish I had taken that Castellanos at 25-1 when he was 25-1 to win a Heisman. His odds had to plummet significantly since that time, since they put up 143 points. Lots of time, in those two games, you didn't see this guy, but you want to. I mean, it would be if he continues this with this pace, and they beat Miami.
Oh,
does he not catapult himself to the top?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll have 2 top 10 wins.
Yeah.
And well, by then, Bama, if they beat Georgia, will be top 10 again. So they would have 2 top 10 wins which is not an easy feat. We'll see.
No, and I don't know what other people were looking at in that Miami game, and I don't mean to be. Look, I'm a big Miami.
Miami fans are growing, and I'm like,
I wish that they were more impressive in that game.
Like, dude, it's okay to just admit you didn't play well.
Hard to embrace. I really did. Against and everybody's talking about desperation as if it was a good thing. Sometimes desperation is the byproduct of not being a very good team. 100%. That's what made you desperate in the first place. And I think that's somewhat applicable to what we saw from the Florida Gators in that game. Where, okay, yeah, they're desperate, and maybe they're playing for Napier's job. I don't know. I had 2 people, though. Mike Nyman was convinced that Napier would be gone after that game.
I think, like I've said, the Texas game is going to be a disaster. So I don't think you want to bring an interim coach in for that. Every team they play is good, but A&M is in Texas. So I would see the Texas game is, I think, his last, because I think they have a bye coming up. So you would probably do it before the bye, after Texas beats the living daylights. Because Lagway supposedly now is in a boot, which many people think he's going to redshirt, because again, you can play 3 games or something and then still redshirt nowadays. So a lot of people say he's going to redshirt and enter the portal because it's just been a disaster for him there. And I don't even know who their backup is. I mean, if he's bad and he's your starter, what the hell do you have behind him?
Nyman, who's a big Gator fan and knows the team pretty well, said that there are many people that feel that the backup, whoever he is better than Lagway, which
it couldn't be worse.
Take a lot of imagination to think that he might have better results. The other thing, inside source was telling me yesterday, I didn't consider it all that significant because I really don't care what happens at Oklahoma State. But Mike Gundy's been there forever.
He's done.
He apparently had a $1 million buyout before they renegotiated his contract and made it a $15 million buyout. No. And according to my source, which this hasn't happened yet, so perhaps it's unreliable, but maybe it's going to transpire sometime during the course of the week, that a booster was flying in with a satchel full of cash as if he was meeting Tom Homan on some undercover tape. By the way, how did they just shrug that one off?
I literally, they actually were investigating
$50,000 in a bag of money is on tape.
It's on camera. Yeah, they actually were investigating it, which is hard to believe. And then, of course, Trump put a stop to the investigation.
And there was
no corruption here. No corruption.
Was dismissed yesterday at the press conference there with this Levichik as well. No, we never did anything wrong. And
I'm saying, videos.
Grabbed a bag of money. I don't know. To me, that would imply I understand entrapment and all of that. Believe me, if anybody does. But yeah, I mean, if you're grabbing the money,
no, he knew what he was doing. It was criminal, but they don't care. That doesn't bother them.
What's the excuse?
They didn't know. They don't even make excuses. They just let it go away. That's literally the whole thing now. What do you mean? The stuff with the boat, they're like, yeah, even if they were innocent, we did it. It's like, no, you're admitting to murder. No, you don't want to do that. Like that's
These
not
guys
good.
look like they were on a skiff trying to catch some snook out in the middle of the ocean.
There was not, and they weren't even headed. They were near America. It was in the middle of the water. That boat's not coming all the way to America.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly under the heading of you really can't make this stuff up. It's so beyond comprehension. All right, we're coming back with more in a moment. Now that. But Gundy supposedly was going to be gone. Booster on his way. What was it? T-Bone Pickens? T-Boone Pickens? T-Boone Pickens.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. So, I mean, he looked old like 20 years ago. So that would be impressive if he was still kicking.
No, he's gone. So supposedly the source of that capital is dried up, but Did they find another guy with $15 million to get rid of Mike Gundy all of a sudden?
Probably.
Incredible. Is he still wearing the mullet, or did he change his hairstyle?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. Like, they were always decent.
Yeah.
Like the last couple of years when they fell off a cliff, I didn't realize that they had fallen that hard. And to see him whining about Oregon before they played Oregon and then losing by 70 to a fellow Power 4 team. Like, oh, okay. I guess he's not long for this job.
I have a food question for you, too, when we come back in a moment. Now that. Oh, you did that already. Sorry. It's 8:45.
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe B.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist extraordinaire, with us here on 940 Wins, 1230 The Zone, and around the world on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you do a lot of podcasting, and you're very diverse in the things that you cover, including one with basketball star Kyrie Irving. You know, we picture Kyrie Irving lighting incense and chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. What was it like? I mean, the conversation with Kyrie Irving, especially in matters of astronomy.
Here's the thing with Kyrie Irving. So as you may know, and of course, if you knew that much about him, you would know that for a while there, he was a big fan of the flat earth. And so my response to that is, by the way, we care about Kyrie Irving because he's good at basketball. So people say, oh, you should not talk about a flat earth. And I'm saying, I don't care if Kyrie Irving wants a flat earth. He's a basketball player. There's plenty of jobs you can have in this world while you think Earth is flat. Just don't let the head of NASA be among them, right? Just you live in a free country. You should be able to say what you want. And so I wasn't as distracted as other people were. I don't get my science from Kyrie Irving, and I'm not going to get basketball lessons from the head of NASA, period. So that's how I look at it.
From South Florida to the entire world, thank you to the iHeartRadio app. Here is Defo, joined by Lubie, on The Defo Show.
I was maybe the one big surprise about that Tylenol autism link that was being implied yesterday by the Trumpster is that Kyrie Irving was not a part of contingent of qualified scientists and medical experts there. Now, I'm not going to claim that this product will cure cancer. That's not my game. I'm a big fan of all natural stuff. There are a lot of supplements that you can take that'll do a lot of good for you, and this happens to be one of them, Joe B's. And Joe's been gracious enough to continue to extend this unbelievable offer he makes, where you get a 6-month supply bee pollen capsules, and it's as good for you as any possible supplement that you can take. Turmeric's a good one. A lot of people find that very beneficial. This happens to be one that has just an all-around good value in terms of what it does for you and potentially can do for you in inspiring better overall health and well-being. You can't go wrong. I mean, well proven. I mean, this is not something I made up. Supplies the body with nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, proteins, all the good stuff that you need to get your day going. Maybe help your immune system, maybe inspire you to have more energy to do things. Just a really great product. You take a couple of capsules in the morning before you do anything else. As soon as you get up, you haven't even been on the throne yet. Boom, 2 capsules, and your day is going to be enhanced. And I mean, I don't know that it's immeasurable, but it's sort of an intangible, Lubie. It's one of those things where you're thinking, "Wow, I don't know what it is that's making me feel this way, but I sure am benefiting from taking these bee pollen capsules." So, did you get yours, by the way? Joe B said he was going to send you some.
Oh, that would be amazing. I'm open. I'm going to need everything I can get in the next few months.
Yeah, get hold of them because I mean, you're going to be particularly susceptible. I mean, the kid's going to have a snot running nose and all this different stuff.
Yeah, I need anything I can to keep me boosted.
Take this stuff, Joe B's, and then I do have to comment too, and it was probably the best thing that we did in going to the game. Was my friend Jimmy Walker and I ended up stopping at La Spada's Original Hoagies. We picked up 3 hoagies. And Mike Nyman had one. His girl was eating a salami sandwich. She bypassed the Las Patas, which I thought was as lovely as his girlfriend is, the lovely Betty. I thought she made a huge error in judgment. But, people like what they like. I mean, I don't want to get into a let's eat South Florida type of thing here. Well, what are you kidding me? A salami sandwich? I finally finished off the third that I had left over from the game of my tuna with everything on whole wheat. Wow. I mean, and it took me 2 sessions to finish off the last third. That's how great it was.
Well, look, it's funny because as we've talked about it, there are things that when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to have. But in talking to our doctor, who has been doing it for well over 30 years and has birthed lots of children, she assured us that it's more about making sure that the apparatus is clean and that you have fresh meat, because when the meat's sitting out, that's when you can get listeria. So it's actually not the meat itself. So again, like we've talked about, the one place we really trust to do this, not give us a face, has been La Spada. So this weekend, for the 3rd time in her pregnancy, we're spreading it out because we don't want to take chances. But I brought it up because we talked about it last week, and she was like, "Oh, that sounds good." And she gets this look on her face, and I'm like, "It's just a sandwich." She's like, "No, it's more than that." I'm like, "Okay." So literally go to Las Padas. The dude I keep getting the same guy, which found me, cleans it like a champion.
Yeah.
And then they slice it fresh, which makes me like I'm about to be a dad worry, like, calms down the minute I see them like they're slicing it.
It's not sitting there like it is at Subway for like a couple of days.
They're all using gloves. No one's wiping their nose.
No, they're top
and
notch.
they're systematic. Like they get you. That's the other thing too, is like they get you in and out. It's actually really impressive how, for the quality that you get, how efficient they are. Like, I don't know. And I bring it home, and her face was so happy. She was so
and fast too, and they're well staffed. I mean, it's not like you walk in there and some girl's filing nails or on a cell phone, and they don't look at you for a while. I mean, I used to frequent Subway, and I actually, for some reason, before I realized it was completely fraudulent, the tuna sandwich there. I'm a big fan of tuna subs, and I thought Subway had a good one, and then we found out it was made out of carp. Some guy caught this thing in a lake like a couple of days before, and that's what they were serving you. But the sort of nonchalant, uncaring service that you get in some of these places. I mean, you compare that to what you're doing at Las Patas, and it literally it's like you're at the Waldorf Astoria there. They can't do enough for you. So that was a great experience. And if you are tailgating or going to a game, or you're having a party, people over, Las Patas Original Hoagies, definitely the way to go. So I had a food question, and this was a weird one because I was having to give Skippy some medication after that incident that we had now about a week and a half ago. All right, so I had to give him a couple of different pills, and the common way to do that would be to wrap it up in some kind of cold cut.
Cheese,
so peanut butter, some people do it that way, but for me, it was just wrapping it up in the Publix roast beef.
Roast beef, yep.
Which is like $5 cheaper per pound than Boar's Head. Although from a quality standpoint, it probably is $10 a pound below what boar's head is. I can't bring myself to pay $20 a pound for something I'm going to feed to my dog. So anyway, long story short, I'm out past the time where Publix was open. I'm out somewhere like 11 o'clock or whatever. And I realize I have nothing in the fridge that I can wrap Skippy's pill up in for the next morning. So now I go to some convenience store, and the only thing they had that was even close to any kind of cold cut was Oscar Mayer bologna and cheese loaf.
Oh.
And I can assure you, the only being in this house that likes it is Skippy.
Oh, he's gonna love it, but
So
it's not great.
He's been nursing that package now for a while, even though he's already taken all of his prescribed medication and seems to be well on his road to recovery if he hasn't completely recovered already. But I'm worried now if I give him the rest of this package because nobody else is going to eat it. I mean, when I touch it, it's a little bit slimy. Huh?
Don't eat that.
And I'm thinking, who goes into a convenience store and buys this and says, hey, let me slap this on some white bread with some mayonnaise, and I got myself lunch. And it wasn't cheap either. It was like $7 for the pack.
God. Oh, Jesus.
But it had little flecks of cheese inside a piece of greasy bologna. So I feel guilty feeding it to the dog. I don't know. How would you feel about that, Louis?
I mean, it's fine to give to him in a pinch, but I would not the sodium in that. I would not be giving to an older dog.
The sodium part of the ingredients and the nutritional information just literally has a skull and crossbones at the end of it. It really is like telling you, hey, kind of like they were trying to tell us not to take Tylenol if you're a pregnant woman yesterday. I love that. Who else could they have brought in terms of sending in the clowns on that particular?
No, you said it. If they brought in, like Kyrie would have.
Kyrie would have been perfect to lead the press.
Right, Kyrie would have.
You know that Trump likes sports figures, so that would have been that. Bunch of injuries in the NFL. Nick Bosa. Again, out for the season.
Yeah, that guy's always hurt.
James Conner, Arizona running back. He was involved. What trade was he involved in? It was a big trade.
The Steelers. He was once with the Steelers. I know that, and he was good with the Steelers.
Yeah, he's been highly regarded for his whole career, but also, I guess, injury prone. Is that possible?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. The Cowboys continue to be afflicted by injuries. CeeDee Lamb might be out this week, so that could impact or influence your wagering. Also, how about? And I always liked this guy when he's with Toronto before he sort of became known. When he was a backup guard, a point guard with Toronto, Fred VanVleet.
Yes.
And then he emerged as a top-notch player. Eventually went to the Houston Rockets. Yeah,
the Rockets rotation. I mean, he was for that young team. He's one of the vets that really helped steady them. They went all in, going and getting Durant. That's not a good injury. Like that sucks for the Rockets.
Wow, torn ACL.
Yeah, he's done.
Maybe out for the season. Bruce Pearl resigns abruptly from Auburn.
He's running for Senate. People, the Visserman, like some people are saying, like I get it. He's very right, so he's in the right state.
If Tommy Tuberville could get elected, I would think this guy could.
He's a lot more sense than Tuberville, and he's a loon.
Yeah,
Bruce Pearl. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people around the coaching ranks aren't the biggest fan of him. He's sort of smarmy and all the things that coaches are mocked for is sort of he encompasses all
indiscretions, though. I mean, when you really look at it now in the age of NIL, where they're just openly paying people and legally, and it's all out and above board. Bruce Pearl, wasn't he one of those guys that like Sampson was supposedly guilty of making too many text message advances towards certain players and recruits? I mean, was it minor stuff that he was involved in, or was he involved in some major scandals, Libby? Bruce Pearl. I know he had kind of a tainted image, but
he just pushes the limits on all of it. And again, you're right. It's stuff that in the regular world is legal, but he was doing all the stuff, and he would do it everywhere, and it was every time. Like he got popped every time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it is what it is. What coaches do, but so his reputation precedes him very strongly.
All right, so he stepped down. His son gets the job.
I don't even know what.
You're seeing the same thing with Bill Belichick. At what point will Belichick step down? And how weird was that? I mean, all of those pictures of the girlfriend on the sidelines. Was it bring your granddaughter to work day? Was that? Didn't it look like that?
Yes.
I mean, here's Belichick. That if Bob Kraft mentioned something to him before the game about, hey, you ought to run the ball a little bit. I mean, he would have thrown a rock at his head.
You would hate it.
The girlfriend's down there on the sidelines. Reminded me of when Jerry Jones brought down that Sheik. And all of a sudden, he's tapping Jimmy Johnson during the game on the shoulder and telling him, hey, I want the Sheik to call a couple of plays. Can you put the headset over that turban? You think that exacerbated the situation there? In terms of the acrimony between those two guys? No?
With a headset on.
Okay, we're going to run 5-1 right.
And Jimmy, of all people. Jimmy, what a joke.
Control freak. Out of here. All right, a lot of fun being with you guys today. At WNBA, we're going to go ahead and back this guy, Kazarian, who's been pretty good, Sonny, man. Doug Kazarian, who says, go ahead and send it in on the Mercury tonight. Plus 7.5. You're getting the points. You get plus 2.5 in the first quarter. So you have a parlay there.
Nice.
And we shall see what happens. Are the Las Vegas Aces in any trouble with Asia Wilson?
Who's on their team?
Asia Wilson, the MVP. She's actually good. I mean, you know what?
She's really good. No, she's really
actually good. She does a lot of stuff. She
does like the 34, 10, and like she is real, like sick, like Luca types.
It seems like a really good person
really good.
in terms of her perspective on things. Aces are 9.5-point favorites with an over-under of 164 and a hook against the Caitlin Clarkless Indiana Fever, who have actually seemed to have accomplished a lot. I mean, what would they have done if Clark was around all season? What is up with this groin injury that she has that she's out so long?
That's a problem with groin. That's a problem with groin injuries. Like they don't just magically go away. You need time to like recover from them, and then on top of that, they can like
easily re-aggravated.
They can linger. Yeah, it's not. I mean,
well, you don't know when it's safe to step out and start doing stuff again. You can feel like hamstrings are the same way. If you really have like a bad hamstring pull, I don't know about a complete tear, but if you've ever pulled a hamstring, then you try to come back. You sit out for a week, and then you try to take a couple of steps, and it's like,
yep.
I don't know. Have you ever done that? Hamstring?
Yeah, no, hamstring is the kind of thing you don't know, and it takes a long time. It seems like a stupid injury, and people can play through it, but it hurts a lot.
Difficult to play through and be any kind of impactful player if it's, I mean, it's definitely restrictive. The groin is the same kind of thing, in my opinion, as the hamstring pull. So, but when you come back, you don't know. I mean, all of a sudden you start to accelerate a little bit, and you realize, there it is. But Clark, she's been out for an eternity, hasn't she?
Been in and out for a long time.
Somebody with a pulled groin muscle? There must be something more to it. We haven't really heard much about it. She's there on the sidelines. Is anybody asking her how she's feeling? I have seen nothing on Caitlin Clark's status. Does she miraculously come back and save the day for the Fever?
Maybe.
We're surprised by getting to the semifinals here. And these are game twos tonight. I think the Fever won the first game, no?
Oh, good. I don't know.
Jim, help us out, man. Are the Fever 1-0 in their semifinal playoff series against the Aces? Maybe so. Aces had won like 17 or something like that in a row. What am I doing here, Louis?
I have no idea.
What is wrong with me? I got influenced by it.
I tuned out.
I happened to be reading this morning because I'm always amazed. I was starting to say before that if you find some sport that you're really good at nailing, like the professor did with Australian rules football, why rack your brain trying to figure out who's going to win in an NFL game?
Look, if you can make money doing it, make money. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't know anything about the sport at all.
Sonny says yes, the Fever won the first game in a big upset over the Las Vegas Aces. 9.5. Would you lay 9.5 with the Aces tonight?
Oh, no idea. Sure.
Don't they come back? This is best of 5, so you got a little bit of room here. Best of 3. Lose that first game. Let's face it.
Good on you.
You're in one team is back is against a wall, and you're in a must-win situation. All right, a lot of baseball today. I don't know. Are you going to tune in? I'm curious. How could Detroit blow this lead that they had? Holy Miguel Cabrera. What the hell happened there?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Screwball on the mound tonight. If they lose this game, and the Guardians literally, didn't they trade all of their top players?
They were sellers.
Sellers. They threw in the towel on the season. And the Marlins also back in action tonight. The Marlins need to go 5-1 the rest of the way. They, I believe, are taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. What incentive do the Phillies have?
Nothing. So maybe that'll work in the Marlins' favor.
but they are going with one of their top starters tonight. Marlins Phillies. They have Sanchez, 13-5, 2.66 ERA. The Phillies and the Marlins are answering with Cabrera, who also has had a decent season, 7-7, 3.57 ERA. The record doesn't have as much significance anymore as the earned run average.
All right, yeah. Well, because you can have a horrendous offensive lineup, so
Yes.
there's only so much you can do with that.
Can they go 5-1 the rest of the way and finish at 81-81?
That'd be amazing.
5-1 the rest of the way. If they do, McCullough should be the manager of the year, should he not?
I don't know.
I mean, other teams have had more surprising seasons.
The Phillies being able to be this strong is actually impressive.
What about Seattle? I mean, Seattle's now
the Marlins
and in their division
should have been the worst team in baseball. So to have them finish top 3 in the division, to have them be literally within 5 games of the wild card this late in the season is miraculous. I mean, it really is.
All right. Sarni says the Phillies haven't clinched a bye in the first round yet.
Okay,
he did explain the playoff format to me. The top 2 division winners get the bye, and the lowest of the 3 division winners in each league ends up in the first round of the playoffs against a wild card team. So there is incentive. And a lot of people think they bastardized the playoffs, but I do think, look, it's made these games important.
Yes.
There's a game that otherwise would be completely meaningless, maybe for both teams, and yet it has significance. So whatever they did in terms of wild card expansion, they managed to actually enhance the meaning of some of these otherwise absolutely worthless end of the season Major League Baseball games. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for being with us, everybody. We will see you next time. Tomorrow we'll go old school with Tony Segreto, Ed Garcia. Wow, isn't Michigan in a big battle this week of some sort? Significant game, or do they have a cupcake on the schedule? Ed Garcia, big college football guy. Are they even playing, Lubie? They had a big win last week, of course. What'd they do? Michigan last week. They beat somebody decent. Oh, they beat
Nebraska 30-27. Yes.
Very nice. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Be careful, you pregnant women out there. The Tylenol thing, I don't know. But when you see a significant panel of medical experts like that, one guy mispronouncing the name of the drug several times, the other guy babbling in an incoherent fashion, and then Mem and Oz smiling in the background going, they're going to have to pay me. You have to. If that didn't inspire you to have nothing but confidence in what's going on medically in this country, nothing will. All right, we'll see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:07.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they got.